Hello there. Welcome to this 6-month Lelit Mara X sort of review video. It's going to be a little bit different format probably than you're used to. I'm just going to do this casual voiceover to a couple different workflow videos. So if you're not into that, I'm sorry, but I hope that the content is helpful if you are into this. So I just encourage you to stick around, and this is going to be a little bit different, I hope and I think, than most the other reviews that are out there. And that's mainly just because I am someone who, this is my machine. Like I own this machine, I bought it. I don't do review videos of things that I don't own because I'm not a YouTuber professionally. I work in coffee professionally, and I also love making coffee at home. So I'm a home enthusiast and a coffee professional. And I think that's just maybe a helpful perspective for some of you as you're considering spending thousands of dollars on a machine. Like, I have no bias here except for maybe a little bit of owner's bias. Like, I want to love this machine, but truthfully, there's plenty of things about it I don't love. So I'm going to try to just be as honest as possible, and I think that'll be the most helpful. We'll see. So if you're new here, my name is Nathan. I have worked in the specialty coffee world for 5 years, and I've been a home enthusiast for 6 years. Some of the places I've gotten to work have been like Wonder State Coffee, which is where I was trained initially. Well, I technically trained myself at home thanks to some like barista hustle classes, but Wonder State is where I received my industry formal training. And then I worked there for a year and then moved on to Olympia Coffee in Seattle, where I worked for 3 years, and I got to be a lead barista there, and they had a ton of amazing classes and learning opportunities, and I got to learn from people that have competed in the national and world like barista championship levels. So very fun to be a part of that and to receive that training. In terms of coffee equipment, I've gotten to use things like the KB90, Stratas, Linea Classics, Linea PB, the Slayers, and lots of very nice like Malkonig grinders mostly. And then I actually started my own coffee bar in Seattle that was like a mobile, like a coffee cart. I started that with my best friend Seth, and he's still running it now, but it's a GS3 with an E65 GBW as the grinder. And if you're curious about coffee carts, just comment below if you want to like learn more about what it takes to start one, what that kind of looks like, how that works. I'd love to share more about that if there's any interest at all. And then in terms of what I've used at home, as like a home brewer, I started with the Gaju Classic Pro and a Kinu M47. And then I got a little tired of hand grinding every day, so I bought a Turin DF64, which I used for just about 4 years before I sold it. And now I'm rocking this Barazza Vario that you see, and I got it for $50 on Facebook Marketplace. And my wife and I decided to invest into the Zerno Z1. So I will be receiving, hopefully, the last grinder I will buy for a long time. Probably in the next 4 or 5 months would be my guess. So I'm very excited about that. One question you might have is like, why did I choose the Lelit Mara X? And that's a great question, and I think very worthy of answering. Honestly, one of the biggest reasons was because I just had a cool opportunity through Olympia to get it at a discount. Since Breville and Olympia are buddies, they offer cool like opportunities for people that work there to try out equipment and stuff. So since Breville owns Lelit, and Lelit's kind of like the luxury brand of Breville, I was able to get this at a nice discount. Not anything insane, but definitely like very notable. And that was a huge deal because I knew that I probably wanted a heat exchanger. I knew that I wanted something that had an E61 style group head. But, a lot of the things like the Bianca, like that just felt like I was dreaming, but something like the Mara X felt like maybe my wife and I could be like, okay, this makes sense. And we were lucky enough to be able to sell our Gaju Classic Pro and Turin DF64 with a ton of accessories and stuff for about $1,000. So that almost covered the cost of this machine at the discount that it was. So I would say that was the biggest reason, just to be completely honest. But, there are some really cool features that sounded awesome. You have 3 temperature modes for brewing, kind of like one for dark roast, medium roast, light roast sort of thing. That felt really exciting just because I do like to occasionally play with temperature. I really liked that they had a brew mode that just focused on getting like really accurate temperature stability, and then steam mode that was just gonna like pump out some amazing steam pressure. That felt really good because I love espresso and my wife loves cappuccinos, so it just felt like a great pairing. And then I love the aesthetic of it, just beautiful matte black wood accents. It's exactly the aesthetic that we had for our GS3. And I knew I was gonna like really miss the GS3, so I feel like a big part of it too was just like I wanted to have something that was nice because I was gonna miss the GS3. When we unboxed it, my initial impressions were definitely like very good. Like the build quality is really high. The materials, the weight, it all reminded me so much of the GS3. And I'm not saying that this is the GS3. They're very different machines. The capabilities are different. But the build quality is honestly like just super high. And I'm not gonna say that it's not. Everything that you touch on the outside is either metal or wood. There's like zero plastic anywhere. The only thing that I feel like it's missing are some like cool feet, but that's really not a huge deal. Even our GS3 didn't really have like cool feet either, so not really a big deal. Like I do like the way the Bianca looks, but that was the only thing that I like when I unboxed it, I was like, oh yeah, there's no feet. That's kind of weird. But again, not a big deal at all. It's just a very beautiful machine, even without feet. It is very tall. Like it is a tall, skinny guy, which I also am a tall, skinny guy. So I feel like it just is a perfect match, But yeah, our first impressions were really good. I think I didn't have any like super noteworthy shots of espresso until, just kind of breaking it in. But that's probably not necessarily the machine. It's more so that I didn't have any like noteworthy coffee on me at the time. But yeah, it was a really amazing first impression. Okay, let's get into some things that I really like about the machine after using it for 6 months. Again, kind of going back to first impressions, but build quality is super important to me. I really care like how things feel, how things look. Is this thing gonna like last for a while? It's one of the reasons that we ended up getting the Z1. I just feel like it's gonna be, I just believe it's going to be so well built and manufactured so nicely that it will last me as long as I want it to. It's not going to go breaking, and that's how this machine feels as well on the outside. I do have some concerns about some of the internal components, and I will get to that later. But in terms of build quality on the outside and things that would be super expensive to replace, all of those are handled really well, and I think that it's going to last the test of time. I really enjoy, for the most part, the like automated pre-infusion setting. I like a 5 to 8 second soft pre-infusion, and that's kind of what this offers. And there's not really any change in it, so you just kind of have to like accept it. But luckily, I like that kind of shot, so I think it gives me enough flexibility. If I want to brew, a quicker shot and not go to a full 9 bars, then I can just grind a little bit more coarsely, and it'll go from 1 bar ramp up to like maybe 5 bars, 6 bars, and it won't hit 9 bars. So I can still kind of play around with things a little bit, but for the most part, it's gonna try to get up to a 9 bar shot, which is okay. And it gives me lots of good espresso. And coming from the Gage Classic Pro, it's definitely a big upgrade from like the stock Gage. I did put the 6.5 bar mod on the Gage Classic Pro, but that also had drawbacks, with that machine. But this one, shots are tasting really good. Steam pressure, I'm actually only using brew mode. I don't use steam mode, which I thought I would use, but again, for reasons that I'm just not quite sure about, I'm not using steam mode. I'm just using brew mode, and it's been working out just fine. You'll see here, I'm getting a nice whirlpool. I'm gonna get some nice latte art, great texture. It's not a problem as long as you get to 1.5 bars. If that's where you start your steaming on this, you're gonna be great, like really good to go. I think 2 bars is ideal, but 1.5 is great. Even 1 you can get a whirlpool, but it's not gonna sound as nice, and it's gonna maybe freak you out a little bit. Simple, but I really like having the pressure gauge, like the dial, to actually see what is happening, because that was something the Gaja did not have, and obviously like something like the GS3 does have that, and it's just so nice to be able to see what is happening. Even if it's not exactly perfectly accurate, it's a really helpful indicator, especially for steaming, because knowing that it's at 1.5 bars or roughly there is the indicator, okay, I can start steaming now. Versus the Gaja Classic Pro, which had that light, which I'm like, what does that light even mean, you know? So I really like having the gauge there, the dial. That's super awesome. You know, my list of things that I'm not sure about is much shorter. It truly is. And part of it's just because it's not even really like cons. It's more just like, I literally don't know what is exactly happening. And it's because it's all internal, and I don't know enough about what is happening on the inside of espresso machines to like take it apart and be like, or take the lid off and just know what I'm seeing. But what I think what triggered my kind of like lack of confidence in the internals of the machine happened 2 weeks into owning it. So 2 weeks in, you know, I get home at 6 o'clock or whatever, I'm gonna make a decaf cappuccino. So I go to turn on the machine, click the on button, which is a nice button, by the way. You click, it's like a metal button, you press it, feels good. I pressed it and nothing happened. There's no lights, no sounds, no nothing. Just, it was like as if were unplugged. So I clicked the button, nothing happens. And I was like, well, that's really weird. I checked the outlet's fine, the cord's fine, nothing seems to be broken, we have power, nothing tripped. You know, I eventually unscrew the top of the machine, look on the inside, peering around, trying to see if there's like anything that's like smelling burned or whatever. Nothing smells weird. So I'm just confused. I'm like, what is going on? So I hop on the different forums, and I think I saw 1 or 2 things about, like, you know, a couple years in, like the Chakar, there's like a Chakar or Jakar, I don't know how to pronounce it. But there's some sort of like little board on the inside that can get overheated. And, you know, but that was like after a couple years of use. So I'm like, there's no way that happened 2 weeks in for me. So I don't know. I emailed Lelit, and they were super nice. You know, they're obviously like, this has never happened this soon. Sounds maybe pretty bad. If nothing changes, just send it back to us. We'll pay for everything, you know, and it'll be fixed. We'll make sure you get your machine back working perfectly. So worst case scenario was going to be I was just going to send it back, and which would be a pain and a hassle, but like it wouldn't cost me any money at least, and they were going to fix it. But then the next day, I don't know, I tried it again and it just worked, turned on. No, I didn't really change anything, I had it even in the same outlet and everything, and it just worked. So really to this day, not sure what happened, but it was a really unsettling feeling of like, wow, we just dropped like $1,300 on this machine, and it's like not working within 2 weeks, and I'm thinking this is like end game machine, you know. So that right there was like not great, you know. And I think if I had sent it in and I got it back, I'd maybe feel a little bit more confident to now use steam mode and brew mode settings and to use like all of the temperature settings. But I feel like I'm extra sensitive now to like what is happening with like hissing noises and heat and everything when I'm just like listening to the machine. So I have it on the lowest temperature setting. I only use brew mode. I am pretty quick to turn the machine off once I'm done using it. You know, I feel like I feel like a little bit like I'm on my toes, like tiptoeing around the machine sometimes with temperature stuff. And that's not a great feeling, you know, but I can't really say, like, it's not like I'm having, like, the espresso is tasting good. It's not like it's tasting burned. It's not like I'm having just horrible experiences with the coffee. It's more just like, I'm just like a little paranoid now, I think. And I don't know, maybe that's helpful, maybe it's not. It could just be a complete one-off, but that's why I'm sharing this video, is because it's like, well, this has been my experience, and it has not been all perfection, but it has been mostly exactly what I was hoping for. And I think that's kind of where I'll end it, is like, I don't know if this machine is right for you or not, but if you're looking for a heat exchanger, the aesthetic fits, the price is right, like you like the idea of just having something that gives you consistent milk texture. Like if you're pretty much looking to level up from something like the Gage Classic Pro, or like a Breville Bambino, or like or even like a Breville dual boiler possibly, if you want something more substantial build quality wise, like this might be a great option for you. I would say if you're really anal about like temperature, like PID and all that, I would just say maybe just save your money for like the Lelit Bianca, or if you're just okay with like a modded out kind of like, in my opinion, funny looking machine, just mod out the Gage, like do the Gage Reno or something. Like, I don't know, I just feel like if you want something that's really nice looking and feels really nice and does a good job, this is a great option. But if you want something that's perfect and that looks nice, this might not be the machine for you. That's just how I feel about it, having used it for 6 months. But I'm very happy to own it. I'm very happy to use it. I'm going to keep using it. And if anything goes wrong, I'm very confident that Lelit will take care of me, partially because of my relationship to Breville through Olympia, but also just because I know that Breville is a great company, and they usually do right by people. So I'm not really concerned if anything goes wrong. It would just be a bummer, and I would just like to know that the temperatures, to really believe that the temperature stability is what they said it would be, So that's kind of the main thing. So I don't know. Let me know what you guys think. Let me know what your experiences have been with your machines. Like, what machines are you guys using? If you feel like this is a great option for you, but you have some questions, hit me up with the questions. I think I tried to cover everything that I wanted to cover, but there's a lot you could say here, right? A lot you could say. So again, thanks for watching. My name's Nathan. If you want to see more videos like this, let me know. I'm probably not going to do a lot of reviews because I really just want to review things that I own and that I'm going to use. So like at some point I might do a review video of the Z1 once I receive it, maybe like a first impression video, and then maybe like a 6-month video. But I'm not trying to like become a YouTuber necessarily, so we'll just see what happens. But hope you all have a great day, and I'll see you next time.